Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another meta guide. So today we are in the Open Ultra League. So the Open Ultra League as well as the Halloween Cup Great League Edition begin tomorrow. Let me know which one you're going to be playing. I'm going to be starting off with the Halloween Cup. I may go to the Open Ultra League, we'll see. But I am close to Legend, so hopefully I can get it soon. By the time you're watching this, maybe I'll be there. I've been saying that for weeks. Who knows? We'll get there eventually, right? But let's go ahead and dive right into the Open Ultra League. So I love the Ultra League. I know it is expensive though. Keep that in mind. So starting things off in the S rank, we do have Registeel, a few Steel types: Registeel, Steelix, and Cobalion. All of them are amazing, right? Of course, Steelix received the Breaking Swipe this season. That put it at #1. The thing about Breaking Swipe is, I don't know, I've said it before, like, I feel like if you're giving Pokemon Breaking Swipe, you should probably give it to squishy Pokemon. Pokemon that can't really take a hit, like Heliolisk, right? That definitely deserved it. And some other Pokemon, but Steelix is already tanky, so definitely makes Steelix highly ranked. A little bit too good, I would say. Hopefully they don't nerf Breaking Swipe, though, because of that, but we'll see. But either way, of course, Steelix, Registeel, and Cobalion, all really good. I love Cobalion. I've used it a lot. I've hit Legend multiple times with Cobalion. Great Pokemon. Of course, you all know Registeel. You know, it dominated at the beginning of Go Battle League, and then it kind of was nerfed, and then it was, like, boosted again. So, who knows, maybe it'll be nerfed again in the future. I don't know. But those three Steel types, really, really, really powerful. Then we have Cresselia. Cresselia is a great non-Exo Pokemon. It's just so tanky, right? Especially in the Ultra League. It can take hits for days, and it does really well. I mean, it kind of gets walled by Fire types unless if you have Future Sight. But still, I mean, it's a really, really strong Pokemon. It could just take hits. I don't know of anything that could knock it out in one hit. That's how good it is. Then we have Giratina, another really tanky Ghost-type Pokemon. Giratina is so good. It could beat Pokemon like Tapu Fini. Which kind of makes sense because you're resisting the water gun attack, so you just basically have to make sure you shield up the Moonblast. But yeah, I mean, Giratina's been around since the beginning. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Virizion is another great Pokemon. I absolutely love this Pokemon. This and Cobalion, I think, are really, really strong picks. Really strong Pokemon. Definitely can't go wrong running them. Even running both of them on a team, perhaps, right? Next up, the A rank, we have Regirock. Regirock, it's not a bad one. It's not as good as Registeel, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty tanky. It walls like Charizard, which is what you really want to wall, right? So it does really well against that. Talonflame as well. Yeah, I mean, that Stone Edge, it gets to it pretty fast. Lock on Stone Edge, really fast. Then we have Zygarde Complete. Okay, so if you have Zygarde Complete, more power to you. I personally do not have a Zygarde Complete. I think I have like 10 cells. So I'm not getting it anytime soon, but that's okay. If you happen to have it, more power to you. It's a really strong Pokemon. But you probably won't battle it, and maybe you'll see it. I don't know. I think there's only one out there, one confirmed Zygarde Complete right now as we speak. Who knows? Maybe there's a couple more, but you're probably not going to battle it. And then we have Swampert. Swampert, of course, yeah, great non-Exo Pokemon. Hydro Cannon, super fast, Mudshot. We all know how great Swampert is. I do like the Earthquake, of course. Just such a powerful Pokemon. Then we have Tapu Fini. Kind of mentioned it. Tapu Fini is a really good one. Because Water Gun is just so oppressive and it gets to the surface relatively fast. Moonblast is a great move as well. It's a really strong Pokemon. Then we have Galiciopod. Galiciopod, my friend, really good with that Shadow Claw, Liquidation, and X's and Aerial were buffed. I know I was running mine with Aerial, but let me know what move you prefer. Both of them are honestly good. So, to be honest, I don't know. I've seen it with Aerial, I've seen it with X-Scissors. So let me know which moveset you prefer. You definitely want that Liquidation, though. It's a great safe swap. I think it's also a great Pokemon in the lead, but just such a safe swap in this meta. One of the best safe swaps, I would say. Then we have Dragonite or Shadow Dragonite. Super oppressive, super damaging Pokemon with that Dragon Breath. I love the Shadow variant. I definitely recommend it. If you're picking one Dragonite, I would go with the Dragon one. It's kind of frail, but at the same time, it's just doing so much damage. As long as it stays away from Fairy types, I guess it doesn't want to see Steel types, but it does have Superpower, so Superpower will help it against Steel-type Pokemon as well. Moving on to the B rank, Greedent. Greedent is probably, you know what, Greedent might be a better safe swap than Galiciopod. It's definitely one of the best, unless if you get hard-walled by it. And I'm not talking losing. Like of course you're going to lose to some Pokemon, but if you get hard-walled, like, so, for example, Cobalion is a hard wall to this Greedent. But other than that, you're looking really good. I mean, I've been able to flip matchups against Registeel. You know, with the mud shots and crunches, if you get the debuffs, you could actually flip that matchup. You could win that into 2 shield. It's crazy. It's crazy. Great Pokemon, great safe swap. With that, ever since it got Mudshot this season, absolutely dominating Pokemon. Then we have Double. Double is another really great counter user with the spammy body slams. I don't know if it's preferred to go Payback or Wild Charge in the Ultra League. But either way, both moves are good. I mean, it's just such a good Pokemon. I finally almost have enough XLs. I'm not even there yet. I think I need a few more, but I'm close. I'll probably be using it this rotation, to be honest. Then we have Mandibuzz. Of course, Mandibuzz is the Umbreon of the skies, right? Such a tank. And it did receive the Aerialace buff this season. Aerialace is still a bad move, even with the buff, but you gotta run Aerialace on Mandibuzz anyway. You know, so it's technically a little bit better, but still, I mean, the main reason to run Mandibuzz is the bulk for the most part. And then we have Pidgeot. I love Pidgeot. I love, like, you could run Pidgeot in the lead, or you could run it in the back, because if you could Brave Bird and dip, which I love doing in the lead. Or what you can do, yeah, that's a good option. Or you could just bring it in, and you know, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you know, if I'm locked in with Pidgeot, right? Maybe I swapped it into Pidgeot, they respond with something else. I go straight Brave Bird because they're not expecting it. They're thinking Feather Dance. They're thinking, no way they're going to Brave Bird. They're locked in, and then I go Brave Bird, and usually it lands. I've knocked out a Charizard doing that, so you love to see it. But sometimes I also go Feather Dance, so you never know. It really depends how I'm feeling. And then we have Gliscor. I think Gliscor is really, really good Pokemon. It did receive that Aerialace buff. Now, I'll be honest, I actually forgot it had Aerialace, because usually you see Night Slash Earthquake, and that still might be the preferred moveset. I'm actually not sure, because you have the Wing Attack, but Aerialace is an option as well. But I would say you probably at least want the Earthquake to really hit those Steel types, and then the other move is up for debate, right, I think, depending on your team. Then we have Alola Ninetales. If you're looking for a Charm user, I think Alola Ninetales is probably the way to go, or the Shadow variant. Because if you think about, like, what Steel types do you have? If you go up against Cobalion, you're doing neutral damage with Charm, right? If you go up against Steelix, you're double resisting the Breaking Swipe and the Dragon Tail. So that's actually a good matchup for the Ninetales. Yeah, you're weak to Earthquake, but it takes them a long time to get to it. Obviously, you don't like Registeel, but and then you have to watch out for poisons, but a pretty solid Charm user. Then we have Defense Deoxys. This thing is ultra tanky. I actually have a rank 1. Love to see it. Really strong pick. Just keep it away from Dark and Ghost type Pokemon, and I think it's doing pretty good. And then we have a couple poisons, so we have Galarian, Weezing, and Tentacruel. You know, I'll be honest, usually I do well in the Ultra League, but this season I actually struggled, and it's mainly because of these two Pokemon. Tentacruel, I don't want to say it came out of nowhere because I've seen it in the past, but I haven't seen it too often. Not as much as this season, right? So those two are definitely really strong. Let's go ahead and move on to the other options. We have another poison type. We have Nidoqueen. I think Nidoqueen is another pretty good Pokemon. I feel like Nidoqueen is underrated, right? And then we have Poliwrath, which is a counter user. Scald, Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch. The whole moveset lineup is really strong on Poliwrath. We have Jellicent. I've used Jellicent myself to hit Legend multiple times, and I feel like it's a little, like, it's still really good. Like, it's still really good. I feel like it sees less play now, but it's still really good. And then we have Walrein. Walrein, of course, ever since it got the nerf, kind of fell out. It's okay, but it's not as seen as often nowadays. Guzzlord is a good one. I've actually used Guzzlord in the Ultra League, and I liked it. You could wall some good Pokemon with it. Then we have Hitmontop. We have a few counter users. Hitmontop, Obstagoon, and Scrafty. Hitmontop I feel like you're not going to see. You'll probably see the other counter users over Hitmontop. Or you'll see like the Cobalion of Virizion. Hitmontop's going to be more so for fun. Obstagoon and Scrafty, though, are pretty good. I still see those a decent amount. Mostly the Cobalion and Virizion, but I still see them. And then we have Greninja. Greninja with Water Shuriken, Hydro Cannon, Night Slash. Gets to him pretty fast. Alolan Sand Slash. Charizard, definitely the best fire type. With Wing Attack, though. Wing Attack, Blast Burn, Dragon, Chloric. Hits like an absolute truck. If you have the Shadow one, more power to you. And then we have Heliolisk. So I did mention Breaking Swipe earlier on Steelix. Heliolisk did benefit a lot from Breaking Swipe. I wouldn't consider it super meta, but it's definitely risen a lot, and I have battled it, and it's a pretty good Pokemon. But anyway, this could be the Open Ultra League for you. Let's go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So for the first team, I hit Legend with this team, I think, like 3 times. It's going to be Kabalion in the lead with Pidgeot and Jellison, right? So, yeah, I mean, I really like this team. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I just really like it. Usually I stay in unless there's like another counter user. Obviously, you can't really deal with counter users like Deoxys, Virizion, unless Kabalion you could deal with. But Obstagoon, obviously, you could deal with. Scrafty, I would stay in. But generally, if it's Deoxys or Virizion, I would have to switch out. Everything else, for the most part, I would say I stay in against, right? I mean, even the poison types like Weezing and Tentacruel, because that's honestly, it's really not even that bad of a matchup. The backline hates electric types, so keep that in mind. When I do battle electrics, if I happen to see a Galvantula or an Ampharos, usually it's in the lead. Obviously, not all the time, right? I have seen them in the back, but most of the time, from my experience, I see them in the lead. Next up, we have Caleb Peng's team that he hit Legend with. It's going to be Virizion, Greedent as a safe swap, and then Steelix. Greedent can flip so many matchups, especially if it gets crunch debuffs. It's just such a good Pokemon. It's so tanky. I've used this team this season with success as well, so I can't recommend it enough. The only problem with this team is that Caleb Peng uploaded a video of it, so now it's like super common, and a lot of people probably predict this team. So keep that in mind. If they can predict it, they might be able to play around it. That's the only issue there. Next up is going to be, I saw this team on Zionix's video. It's Galiciopod in the lead with Double Steel, Steelix, and Kabalion. I think both of those can work as safe swaps. I love the Steelix as a safe swap especially. Galiciopod is a great Pokemon. Of course, all around. I actually might want to try this team myself. There's other Steel types you could run. You could run Registeel instead of Steelix if you happen to have that invested in over the Steelix, because Steelix is new for this season, right? You know, and then Galiciopod is just a great Pokemon. I've seen this exact team, but with Dragonite in the lead over Galiciopod, so Dragonite Double Steel is another option as well. And then we have a nice non-XL team. We have Swampert in the lead with Cresselia and Giratina altered. Yeah, I mean, pretty good team. I like Giratina with Shadow Claw, just because I feel like it's a really safe swap. Because even if they, I mean, like I've actually used. I remember using Giratina Altered, and I would save swap Giratina Altered, and they would respond with the Tapu Fini, and Giratina Altered actually wins that. Now, because Water Gun is resisted, right? I kind of mentioned it earlier, so they have to go for Moonblast. If you shield the Moonblast, you're looking really good. So, I mean, do you have to watch out for Pidgeot? Maybe, unless if you're running, what is it, Ancient Power, which you could. I mean, it really depends what moveset you want to go with. Ancient Power, Shadow Sneak, or Dragon Claw. I mean, definitely Dragon Claw, but then you could decide on the other move. Next up, we have the triple counter team. I believe I saw this on House Stark's stream one time. I want to say it. I think so. I actually wanted to try this team myself, but the only thing is, I was not able to do so because I didn't have the double. Now I think I'm like 3 XLs away from the double, so I'm close. I'm gonna be able to get there. So I'm gonna be able to use this one. I could transform some rare candies into XLs and use this team if I choose. Though I probably will. I definitely want to try out double. And then the next team is gonna be Alolan Ninetales. In the lead, I like Charm a lot, and then Charizard and Registeel. So I guess this team might struggle, right, to a Fire-type lead if you're running Charm. If you go Powder Snow, you could do that, and then you would have play against, like, the Talonflame if you see it, or the Charizard. Yeah, I mean, this team in general, though, would struggle against it, but, I mean, you have Zap Cannon on Registeel, which has play. But either way, these are going to be the Ultra League teams. Let me know what team you plan on running in the Ultra League, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.